welcome to level 2/free Pilates. So before we crack on, I'll just go through the basics. So remember, if you're injured, you shouldn't be doing this session. If you have any pain during the session, then I would recommend stopping at any point, and remember to listen out for alternatives. So we're going to begin with our mobility section first. We're going to be using the band in this session. So if you've got a band, great, but don't worry if you haven't, because you can do all the exercises we're doing without a band. Okay, I've got my block and I've got my cushion also, and remember, if you haven't got a block, a hardback book is just as good. So let's start with our feet hip distance apart. So one thing we can do to gauge that is take our feet together, turn them out like Mary Poppins, then turn our heels out, and we've got our hip distance. We're pulling our shoulder blades back and down into our back pockets, and I'm just going to turn to a side view. All we're going to do is begin to rock the pelvis. So just rocking the pelvis back and forth. So just rocking. So it's tucking under. So if you look at my hands, I'm doing exactly the same things with my hands. They're just rocking, and that pelvis is just rocking backwards and forwards. And that's all we're doing. We're just waking up the lower back, that lumbar spine. May not quite be awake yet today, but we're just waking it up nice and steady. Just for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1, and tuck and hold. So we're holding that tuck under. So that's going to feel like our posture is slightly different to how it normally feels, and that's fine. So we're holding it there. The next thing I want you to do is just bring your hands to your rib cage, and let's focus on our breath. So we're breathing in through the nose, down to the chest, down to the pit of the belly, and then bringing that breath. Actually, I'm going into yoga mode there, aren't I? Bringing the breath into the nose, into the chest, it comes into the rib cage, and then bringing it out through the mouth. So we breathe in, feel the ribs expand, and then release. Breathe in. Let's take a few moments to get used to that feeling. Nice and steady. Two more. Last one. Let your hands drop to your side. Now we've got used to that lateral breathing, and that's what we should be maintaining the whole way through. The next thing we're going to do, and I'm just rotating to the side, is contracting that pelvic floor. So from the back of the bottom, remember at this top point in the crease, all the way around to the front, okay? Around to that pubic bone area, we're contracting those muscles. So I always think of it as a 1, 2, 3. So almost think of it as like a lift that you're activating. So you've pressed that number 1 button, it's now going up to level 2, and it's now going up to level 3, and then we can release as if we're lowering the lift down. So we contract that 1, 2, 3, release 3, 2, 1, and just continue with that a few times. Get used to how it feels when the pelvic floor is working and the pelvic floor is not engaged. And it's good to get used to that, because what we want to try and do is get to a point in life where wherever we're doing, whatever we're moving about in any way, is that pelvic floor is activated, because that is going to keep our core strong and help with core stability. So now let's contract and hold those 3 points. Now let us take our focus into the belly button. So we're taking our focus into the navel, and we're drawing the navel in towards the spine. So as we draw the belly button in towards the spine, there is tension. We're not posing for a picture. We are just pulling in so that we can breathe and breathe comfortably. Our shoulder blades are back and down, and our hands just resting by the side. So now we've got that simple tuck. We've got the pelvic floor engaged. We've got that abdominal connection. Our shoulder blades are back and down into the back pocket. All I'd like you to do is give me some double chin. So we're going to squeeze the chin into the chest and then release. So you're just drawing the chin into your chest, and that's going to stretch into the back of the neck and along the shoulders, and release. Squeeze in, hold for a moment, release and breathe out. Last 2. Last one. And relax very gently, staying in that position, cervical rotation. Now I think it's really important to sort of work on that cervical rotation, do the double chins, because we use our neck so much, it assists us in getting up and down. We don't even realise sometimes how important those neck muscles are. And at the moment, some of us are spending more time on our mobiles, our tablets, computers, reading, hunched over. So really good to just make sure we're bringing some movement in there. So one more to the right, one more to the left. And then we're going to sassy walk it out. So when we sassy walk, we're just coming into the toes and the balls of the feet. The hips are swaying side to side. We're not keeping them level. We're just letting that pelvis move as it would normally when we walk. But we've got a little bit more sass in our walk. Or you might already have plenty of sass, but you can add a little bit more if you wish. So nice and steady, just bending the knees, bringing some warmth, bringing some energy into the body. So nice and steady and relax for me. So feet are hip distance apart, core is nice and strong. All I want you to do is give me some circles up and down. So inhale up and down. Inhale up and down. Inhale up and down. Two more. Last one. Monkey squats with a rotation. I'm going to turn to the side, so feet hip distance apart. We bend the knees, we look over the shoulder and rotate. So there's a little bit of rotation into the thoracic part of the spine. So we're doubling up on some of our mobility here. That way we're getting the body warmer quicker. So I'm going to film this in two parts today. So I'll go half an hour and then half an hour. Hopefully that'll work fine with the loading. So nice and steady. So remember, we're breathing in as we come down, breathing out as we come up. Nice and steady. And we can add a little bit of cervical rotation in there as well, just for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1, and come up. Very gently bring your feet together, hands onto the hips. Bring the index fingers across and check that they meet in the middle. Remember, if they're slightly out, we can bring our hands to our hips and adjust. If we've got a diagnosis, we know one hip's higher than the other, then we just don't worry about it. We peel one heel off the floor and just pedal. Ignore my ankles there, just going all over the place. So nice and steady, we want to be keeping the hips level and the shoulders level. And nice and steady. Control. And if we can, we go a little bit quicker. Bring in a little bit more movement into easy peelers for 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's relax down, keeping the feet in the same position they are, hands on the hips. Just bring your right foot forward, ready for an ankle rotation. So we just rotate one way, rotate the other way. Bring it down. Other leg. Remember, you can rest a big toe on the floor. Rotate one way as you're doing that rotation. Rotate the other. And relax. Okay, should be ready for our workout now. So we're going to take our legs wider than the hips. I want you to have your feet so that when you look down, the toes are level with one another. Okay? You're then going to turn both feet out to the corners of the room. Tailbone is under, so remember we've got that tuck, that pelvic floor and core stability is in place. All we're going to do is lunge to one side. Now as we lunge, what we want to check is that our knee isn't surpassing the toes. So I can see that I need to take my legs a little bit wider. Check that they're level. That's better. So I'm going to come down and up, down and up. Now if we want to make this more challenging, let's bring in a little lateral raise as we come down. So breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Nice and steady. So a side squat lunge, really nice because it's working the inner thighs, working the glutes, working the thighs overall, but it's just a different angle. And if we're bringing those arms in, We can work the shoulders as well. But remember, if you've got shoulder issues, you can keep those arms down. We could just be lunging. Hands could be on the hips if we wish. So what I want you to do this time is come to the right, bring your hands to your hips, hold that position. You're gonna give me a little pulse just for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, hold. Take a deep breath. Other side, push into it. Hold the lunge position and pulse for 8 and 7 and 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, hold. And gently come up. Walk them in. So again, they're wider than hip distance apart. Feet turned up to the corners of the room. We're going for a clear squat here. So hands can be in front, tucked under, nice and steady. Again, come up. Now check as you come down that the knees aren't surpassing the toes, okay? And then come up. If the knees are surpassing the toes, then we would simply take the legs wider. Now again, if you want to bring in the arms, you can. In fact, let's bring them forward like so. So if you're giving a tree a nice hug. Oh, lovely. Nice and steady. So just variations on our squats this morning. So down and up. And squats are brilliant because they're pretty much working everything. So we're pelvically, abdominally connected. We're breathing in on the way down, breathing out on the way up. Last 2. Last 1. Stay here. Let's pulse for 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. And come up. Very gently, bring it in. Sassy, walk it out. Swing the legs. Ooh. Sorry, that was just my knee going, oh, I'm not sure I want to exercise today, Gemma. Hasn't done anything since last week. So nice and steady, controlled, and then relax. Okay, bring your feet together, hands on the hips, index fingers across, check their level, hands come back, shoulders back and down, lift the toe, very gently, we're going to lift and then tap it out in front, keeping the hips level. So we lift, and we're aiming to bring it to hip height. Doesn't matter if it's not there, you might just be lifting it, it's just on the floor. If that's where it is, that's fine. Then we extend it out. So lift, extend. She says, try not to fall over. And remember, you can always use a wall or a chair to aid with your balance. Gosh, my balance is shocking. Still got a broken toe, obviously, so this side's the rubbish side, so maybe that's contributing. So up, extend. Now, as you extend, can we contract the thigh? Up, tap, up, extend, contract the thigh, up, tap, up, extend, contract the thigh, up, tap, up, extend, contract, up, down. I can feel myself tilting to one side. Last time, lift it up, contract, extend, hold. I am human, I'm definitely not perfect. So hold it there. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Up, down, easy peelers. So just peeling into the heels, nice and steady, controlled. And then very gently. Let's do the same on the other side. So hips are level, let's check, index fingers want to meet. Remember, we can adjust if we need to. Shoulders back and down, lifting up, extend, contract the thigh, up, tap, up, extend, up, tap, up, excuse me, extend, up, tap, up, extend, up, tap, up, extend, tap, tap, up, extend. So breathing in, breathing out. So it's in, contraction, Last time, let's take it up and hold. Hold it there. Got the contraction. Of course, you can breathe out at this point. So breathe out and then breathe in and out. 5 contracted, nice and steady, holding it there. Just for 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Give it a sassy walk. So let's just swing it out. So nice and steady. We're going to move onto the floor. So I want you to come to the end of your mat. Feet hip distance apart. Inhale up. Monkey squat. Bend your knees, hands to the thighs. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, walk your hands down. We're coming onto all fours. Shoelaces are to the floor. Knees are beneath the hips. So we've got a nice 90-degree angle. Elbows are soft, eyes and nose looking down. I'm pushing the tailbone to the back of the room, drawing the shoulder blades slightly together. But if I took my Sunday roast and placed it on your back, then I could rest it there firmly and you wouldn't spill any of my gravy as I poured my gravy on, okay? So we're starting with simple tucks, you know this well. We're tucking the tailbone under and back. Tucking under and back. Tucking under and back. Inhale, exhale. So remember, the eyes are looking down to the floor. They're not looking in front, they're not looking under. We're just looking straight down. Just for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Stabilize. Eyes and nose looking down, nice and steady, core nice and strong. What I want you to do is take your hands shoulder width and 1/2 apart. So that's either side of your mat. So I'm just going to move my mat out slightly from the wall so I can do that. So we're doing press ups. Now remember, we've got 3 options when we do press ups. If you so wish, you can take your hardback book or block and cushion and place it in front of you so they'd be just underneath your chest as you come down. So hands either side of the mat. So that's shoulder width and 1/2 apart. The knees are hip distance apart. Shoelaces to the floor. We have box press up like so. So you're coming down like so. If we want to make it more challenging, we take the hands further out in front. We come onto the knees. Let ourselves rock forward and come down. Ooh, that's good with the cushion in place. Just takes my weight entirely. Down and up. And if you wanted, you could even do full press ups. I'm not going to demonstrate because I'll break my nose, and also I can't put any weight into my toes at the moment. So nice and steady. When you're ready, let's come into position. Now I'm going to go for box position. We are going down to a 4 count. We're holding at the bottom for a 4 count, and then we're coming up to a 4 count. So if you've just gone hell ho straight into your press ups, bad idea. Okay. So let us go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the bottom for 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're really about slowing it down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Lift up for 1, 2, 3, 4. And down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Lift up for 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're breathing in as we come down to that 4 count. We're breathing and then we hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Release your breath as you come up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's have 2 more. Core is engaged. You're pushing the tailbone to the back of the room, nice and steady. Hold at the bottom for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. This time, let's take it down. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're holding this time a bit longer for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Come back, set your bum onto your heels if you can. Remember, we can always put a cushion in between. Take your hands in front, drop your chin to the chest, just pull the shoulder blades away from one another. Just enjoy that stretch for a moment. Heads down towards the floor, so you're feeling that across the top of the shoulders and neck as well. Then let's take our hands into the base of the spine. Hands flat, if we can, into the base of the spine, elbows joined together. So you're really opening up the chest. So nice and steady. Hold it there. So just opening and releasing. And then let's just roll our wrists in one direction and roll them in the other direction. Because it's tough on the wrists. And we've got a lot of work on all fours yet to go. So we're going to now move the cushion and the block out of the way, just to the side. Coming back with the hands underneath the shoulders, elbows soft, knees underneath the hips, toes tucked under behind. Core engaged, tailbone to the back of the room, shoulder blades joined together, eyes and nose looking down, not in front, not under, looking down. You're going to take one leg, you're going to extend and tap behind and then draw it in. So take it behind, tap and in. So this is preparation for plank. Tap and in. Breathe in, breathe out. Now as we go, we're trying to keep our hips level and our shoulders level. So remember, breathing in as you extend behind, breathing out as you bring it back. Last time. And relax. Just come back for a moment in child's pose. Reach your arms forward. Let the head relax. Look under the body for a moment. Then look forward for a moment. Now, we're going to come into plank, and I want to give you two different options here, okay? So, coming forward, hands beneath the shoulders. This is tough on your wrist. If you find it particularly challenging on the wrist, you can come down onto your forearms to perform the following exercises, okay? So I'll demonstrate with both. So, first option is to take, now remember, I've got a broken toe, I can't put weight into these toes, so I'll literally just be putting weight into one side. So you should be putting them into both feet. So, hands underneath the shoulders, core engaged, you take both feet back, I'm literally putting all my weight into my big toe, core nice and strong, and we hold like so. Your second option, if you wanted to do that but without using your wrists because it's tough, we can do it on the forearms like so. The other option is to bring your knees further behind you, let your chest come forward so you're on a diagonal angle. So again, we're not sticking the bum up, we're not dropping the hips down, we hold. And again, we could come down onto our forearms if we wanted to. So those are your options. So I'm going to be doing it on my hands and knees. So hands in front, core strong. Let's come into position and hold. And again, we could have our hands in fists if we so wish, but we must make sure the wrists and forearms are in alignment. So the bum shouldn't be up behind you. And if you looked under, if you're on your knees, you should be able to see your knees. If you're on your toes, you should be able to see your toes. And we're just engaging and holding. Just for 4, nice and strong. Breathing in and out through the nose. Three, really slow 4 count, yeah? 2, and 1, and come back. This time take your knees as wide as your mat. We're coming into shell pose, but remember, if we've got knee or hip issues, we can keep the knees facing forward and come into child's pose. Big toes come together. I'm going to put my foot on top just because of my toe. Hands reaching out, let the head relax between the arms. Again, remembering that if the head is dropping to the mat, we can use a cushion or block to give the head extra support. What we don't want is a crease in the back of the neck, as if we're flopping the head down. So let's just hold it there for a few moments. Reaching those arms out in front, fingers spread out, enjoying that stretch. Well done. So plank is doing the same as the bridge exercise. I prefer the bridge exercise myself because I think it's just a much safer exercise. There's less room for injury in bridge or hurting yourself, but it's personal preference. Nice and strong. Hold it there. Tucking your tailbone under so you're getting a nice stretch into the lower back. Let's very gently just bring our hands onto our forearms, rotate the wrists in one direction and then rotate them in the other direction. So this time coming forward, just adjust my top of pants. So we're going to go into side plank. So I'm giving you options. So I want you on your knees, turn your right foot out to the side behind you, so it goes out to an angle, one leg extends out to the side, hands beneath the shoulder. We're going to make this more challenging, not by being on 2 feet, but by lifting the legs. So what we want is the shoulders directly above one another. So we've got wrist, elbow, shoulder, shoulder, elbow, wrist. Then we can keep the foot on the ground or we can lift and hold. Shoelaces can be tucked on that supporting leg or they can be flat to the floor. Core is nice and strong, challenging the balance by looking up. So we're in side plank, but we're going to add a rotation to advance it further. So we're going to rotate the arm, the upper body underneath without falling, and bringing it back. So we breathe in, exhale, breathe in, nice and steady. Keeping that leg strong if you can. 4 more. Last 3. You should be feeling this. You might feel it in your glutes as well. Nice and steady. You're better having your shoelaces to the floor on that supporting leg, but I can't quite do it on mine at the moment. So last rotation. Let us hold it inside plank. Head looks up. If we're looking forward, that's fine. If you want to challenge the balance more, then we can turn the head up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath. Exhale, bring it down. Knees come down, bring the ball onto your heels, rotate your wrist. It is tiring on your wrists. We're doing a lot of work today where we're on all fours and it's really tiring in the wrists. So just give them a rotate. Take them into a fist, roll them out. Into a fist, and as you take them into a fist, roll that wrist so it's coming towards the chest. Release, roll in, roll out, roll in, roll out. Now just so I'm facing you, I'm going to rotate the other way around. So this time you want to be turning your left foot out if you did the right, just the opposite of whichever leg you did last time. Hand beneath the shoulder, leg goes out to the side, foot to the floor to begin with. We want those arms to be in a nice straight line. So remember, wrist, elbow, shoulder, shoulder, elbow, wrist. Core is engaged. Again, if we've got wrist issues, we could even be resting on the fist, but make sure you've got that stability. We then lift the leg, eyes rotate, looking up. That supporting leg, we can have the toes tucked under. That's going to make you less stable, so that's going to make it more challenging. That's why I was all over the place on the other side, but I just can't do that on my toes at the moment. Shoelace is going to give you more stability. Let's inhale, rotate. Exhale. Inhale. Four more, nice and steady. Last one. Hold. Eyes can look forward or rotate looking up to add that extra challenge. Hold it there. Hold it there. Just for 4, 3, 2, 1, bring it down. Come onto the knees, bring the bum onto the heels. I'm just going to rotate to face you. So just take one hand, push the hand, so you can be pushing the hands or the fingers just towards the chest. Hold it there for a moment. Rotate, so we're doing the opposite side to the back of the hand this time, pushing it towards the body. Other side, push, and then push, and then shake it out. Shake it out, roll it out. So that's the end of part 1. I'm just going to press pause to load, excuse me, and then we'll do the second half. So we're going to start on side leg series. So well done, you've worked very hard.